Yeah. What's up, guys? Happy Monday. It's May 2nd. How do you say that? It's Dos de Mayo? Yeah, where's our Spanish homie from the other day? We're a bilingual stream here, except we're not. How we doing? You guys doing all right? Shout out to Mia Moore. Shout out to Gilbert in the chat. Skimmer. Yeah. What up, Plan B? What up, ACP? Hope you guys are doing all right. Hope you guys had a really good weekend and start to your new month. And ready for basketball to come back tonight. Ready for some baseball. It's kind of a travel day, but there's still some fun games out there. Big game from the AL East. Yankees, Blue Jays. Everyone's vaccinated, so that'll be a lot of fun to watch and sweat and talk trash to Raj. So hopefully you guys are good. You can turn off the air. I'm vibing. What has Plan B done to my chat? But on a little streak. Let's go, ACP. Let's see. Yeah, I think it was alright. Was it yesterday? So yesterday I loaded up on Gossman and Corbin Burns. Obviously, just like I, people have different processes. Mine is I don't get cute at pitcher, and I'll gladly pay up at pitcher, and I'll go crazy with just a few pitchers. I don't really diversify my pitcher playing pool that much, and then it gives me a little bit more lineups to play with when it's time to get to stacks. And yesterday I went nuts with Burns and Gossman everywhere, so it turned out to be a pretty solid day. But I did go back, take myself a little nap once it locked, and somehow one of my highest owned players on Fanduel was Matt Duffy. Yeah, he was literally in my top 5 lineups, and all those lineups were, a puncher's chance away from first place. And Duffy was scratched with and put on the IL, so I missed that alert. So typically we don't have those NBA things happening to us, but that was an unfortunate time because I was just trying to get me a little old man Sunday nap. You know what I mean? So hopefully Matt Duffy's all right. He'll be all right. Maybe later on this year he can make it up to me. What up, Give a Toss? I've been doing great in low fee entry multipliers next year. Hey man, I appreciate that. I'm glad to hear that too. Where do you play? Give a Toss. You play Fanduel, DraftKings, Yahoo even. It's all good. That's rough. Yeah, HB, we're gonna do. I've had a couple of almost this weekend, and unfortunately in tournaments, the way payout structures are, almost can usually mean a net loss, right? But it's fun to be up there. It's fun to have that sweat going, and that's what we do. So I'm going to open up the RunDFS.com MLB VIP spreadsheet, and we're going to do a little bit of research here and make sure we get all of our lineups updated and make sure all the proper pitching is inputted into these projected lineups and stuff like that. So if you already got a head start on some research, head start. Hey, I'm researching here, huh? If you already got a head start, let me know what you're digging as we go game by game and stuff like that. I first want to double check that I got all the appropriate projected starters. Zach Gallen versus Pablo Lopez, yes. Chris Paddock versus Tyler Wells, yup. Jordan Montgomery versus Ross Stripling, oh yeah. Charlie Morton, no, it's Max Fried. Why would I have Charlie Morton? Okay, Max Fried. Mets, so the Mets face the lefty. Chris Bassett, yup. Marco Gonzalez against Jake Odorizzi. Wow, 2 fly ballers from opposite sides of the rubber, huh? Drew Rasmussen and Dalton Jeffries. All right, a little short slate here, so we should be able to get through and through. It doesn't look like a lot of who's that minor leaguer call-up, stuff like that. You know what I mean? So it should be pretty easy to process and research. Boy Judge been on fire, man. My boy Judge. And coming into the season, there's a little bit of controversy with the Yankees, with New York, with the vaccination rules. Word on the street is Rizzo and Judge were not vaccinated in spring training, and then that's when we started having that little, wait a minute, are the Yankees about to get Kyrie Irving and stuff like that? And then, of course, knowing that wins against the Blue Jays are important, but looks like everyone's vaccinated. Everyone made the trip, including Judge and Rizzo. And knowing what we know now, Imagine this season without Judge and Rizzo, or at least imagine, imagine the season, the home games, but also imagine, having to face the Blue Jays without Judge and Rizzo. I don't think there's any debate. Those have been the best two offensive pieces. So I'm glad everyone is immunized, right? As Aaron Rodgers would say. Will Judge play? Yeah, he's playing. Everyone made the trip. You wouldn't be able to make the trip if you weren't vaccinated. All right, let's get some lineups updated. Let's talk some baseball, boys. D-backs at the Marlins. We do have confirmed lineups for both the Diamondbacks and Miami. Dalton Varsho batting leadoff here. Jordan Luplow hit some bombs yesterday. Christian Walker, Cooper Hummel. By the way, boys, after this stream, we're gonna do a NBA stream. There's 2 games tonight on the NBA docket. I know some of you guys might have been looking for Josh's video this morning. When I call Josh a scientist, you guys know it. That's a literal thing. He's literally a neuroscientist at Stanford. And I guess today was some deadline for a presentation or some nerdy stuff. I don't know. So he really was needing to focus on that. And obviously I'm not going to tell him that he needs to make some videos on props instead of solving the world's problems. But he will be back, or at least I'm expecting him to be back for this afternoon stream for basketball. Ryan Anderson, Miguel Rojas, Jacob Stalling. Okay. All right, here's our complete matchup here for D-backs in Miami. Pablo Lopez at home too. I like that. I think both these pitchers are certainly in play. I'm pretty sure Zach Gallen played for the Marlins and they traded him away. So a little bit of revenge narrative that tickles your fancy. He's 7,600. That's pretty doggone cheap, to be honest. But Pablo Lopez stands out quite a bit. And I don't know, man. There's some guys where I'm not a massive home road split guy. There's a couple of guys that historically that make me laugh because of how consistent they've been at home or on the road. Remember Wei-Yin Chin from way back for the Marlins, man? It's like his home games were elite. Well, Pablo Lopez really likes home cooking. Last year at home, he had a 2.97 xFIP with a 205 average, a .71 home run per 9, almost a 29% overall K rate. On the season, numbers overall weren't that much higher than those home metrics. They were just that much better at home. So he stands out against a Diamondbacks team that I believe at last glance was top 1 or top 3 in strikeouts. I want to say it's like Orioles, D-backs, and like the Athletics. Let me double check that. But just in the last couple seasons, we're looking at this projected lineup. Dalton Varsho strikes out 1 in 4. So does Luplow, Walker, Cooper Hummel. This is a pretty strikeout friendly lineup, and it doesn't possess a ton of power. So the other thing to note is Ketel Marte finally got on the board over the weekend. Even hit a triple yesterday. He's not in the lineup. So this is even potentially an even more lucrative lineup for Pablo Lopez to go take down. So we're definitely going to be playing some Pablo Lopez tonight. I'm going to start him off as a tier 2, but I got a good... you know what? Let's just do it. We know he's going to be probably tier 1 by the time it's all done. And yeah, Zach Gallen is up there as well. This should be one of the... should be more of a pitcher's duel. Both teams have an implied run total under 4. Marlins 3.7. D-backs under 2.9. Last night, I was doing some research. I was thinking this would be certainly a game. I was looking at this game, and I was looking at the Mets game for like a no-run first inning, and PrizePicks didn't offer it. And let me see if they've ever added it. No, they have Braves and Mets. So I don't mind that Braves and Mets no-run first inning, but I was really hoping to get this game. But it must be like super juice for them to not offer it. So that's kind of where I'm at. I think I'm going to play both pitchers, not really going to target either team, to double check and feel confident about what Lopez and Zach Gallen are doing. And no mistake about it, I'm way more interested in Paul Lopez. And also, I feel like this is a movie montage of me getting ready for the ball. What the F is this? Boat? Name of the song is Boat. Nope. 14% swinging strike rate through 4 games for Pablo Lopez with a 2.59 xFIP, 2.76 SIERA. All that really, really good. Ground ball rate's fine. Hard contact is low, really low altogether. There was one game where Philly put a couple of hard hit balls out there, but still sub 40%. So everything is really, really looking good for Pablo Lopez to be probably one of the most rock solid plays on the slate, if not number one. And then Zach Gallen, let's see how he's been. His metrics do offer a little bit more volatility, right? Last year at 3.9 xFIP, the last couple years to lefties, same to righties. So he's not as crisp as Pablo Lopez, but he still is a good pitcher, and this is a plus park. So certainly seems viable that at 7,600 on DraftKings, he's going to be in the mix for me, especially as a reasonably priced SP2. What's up, chat? Judge not vaxxed. They just found a loophole where if you cross the border on the bus, they won't check. Hey, man, whatever it takes. You gonna tell that man no? Cause I'm not. Deadlines, get a video out. Took Dylan Cease pitching outs. Yeah, Cease. I was looking at Cease last night, but I didn't want to over research stuff that wasn't going to be on this slate. But his outs and his strikeouts were all pretty high. Loophole. I don't know. I heard a report a couple weeks ago that they all were vaccinated. So I don't think there's any conspiracy thing going on. Yeah. What up, Conscious? 11.5% swinging strike rate on the season for Zach Gallen. Batted ball data is fine. The xFIP to SIERA, not perfect, not bad either though. Staying below 4. So yeah, we're more interested in pitching in this game than anything else. So Zach Gallen has had a problem with righties the last 2 years. Last year specifically, a 192 home run per 9 to righties with a 42.3% hard contact rate. We can split that down just to see if maybe a one-off bomb in the bat of a Jorge Soler makes some sense. So we'll go to his splits against righties this year. Has a lot of double, 190 slugging. And let's see if the batted ball data is good as well. Yeah, hard contact's low. Ground ball rate. The fly ball rate still elevated, but he is getting some infield flies, so I'd probably give that about a 45% true fly ball rate. So it's fine so far. So yeah, we're pitching both pitchers. Not really there on either offense, but I'm gonna put Gallen as a 3 for now, and then we'll go from there. All right, next game, Orioles hosting Twins. We do have a Twins lineup. And Twins, Byron Buxton, Luis Ariz, Carlos Correa, Jorge Polanco, Kepi, Jose Miranda. Dude, if I was a play-by-play or a color commentator and he homered, how do you not use a Miranda rights pun like that? Right? Tyler Wells, the pitch, swung on, sent to deep right field. That ball's gone. Jose just read Tyler Wells his Miranda rights as he circles around the bases. Fireworks going off. Byron Buxton's at the let's go. I don't know, man. That just seems like it's too good. Wasn't there a left-handed pitcher named Ariel Miranda, or am I completely making that up? Chris Paddock's pitching for the Twins. He's up against Tyler Wells. All right, so here's two pitchers that could be all right, but on a short slate, we want to see if we can get through some leaks, right? Chris Paddock coming from the Padres in that trade, I believe, for Taylor Rogers. So results so far for him have been all right. 11.3% swinging strike rate. Not insane, but not contact-y. 2.8 xFIP, 2.89 SIERA. Really, really good. Dodgers, Royals, and the Tigers. So good little mix of opponents. And then let's look at batted ball. Or let's go look at splits. What were we worried about coming into the season? His splits against righties, elevated average, and elevated home run per 9 to righties. Although the 3.67 xFIP maybe means he was getting a little unlucky with that elevated batting average. So let's see what we got going on now against righties. 14% hard contact rate. That's probably unsustainable, but that's good. 55.6% ground ball rate. That's what you want. A 2.14 ground ball to fly ball ratio. So versus last year, yeah, he's certainly getting more ground balls here. So I wonder what is the reason. This sounds like something Dr. Disrespect would open a stream with. Right? I need a mustache comb. Oh, it's all over. Okay. I was going to do a whole bit, but it's over. Oh, well. Fastball, curveball, changeup. Is that linear? Fastball, curveball, changeup. Oh, wrong guy. Fastball, curveball, changeup. All right, it looks like using that curveball a little bit more. Maybe that's the secret sauce. And then Tyler Wells. He had a strikeout prop, and I was reading in the Discord earlier. Our boy Vince, he was telling everybody that I think it was 3.5, and there was a ton of juice on the over, and now it's moved to 4. I don't know if 4 is still attackable, but something to keep an eye on. 33% K rate last year to the lefties, 23.5% K rate to righties, 4.57 xFIP. So he had a really alarming xFIP against right-handed hitters. Let's go look at plate discipline this year. 9.4% swing strike rate. Certainly not what you want. Batted ball data's got elevated Sierra and xFIP. Also not what you want. And let's go split that batted ball data, especially keying in on these righties. Because we do like Byron Buxton. 40% fly ball rate to righty so far. 30% hard contact rate. Could be wrong. Worse, 40% pull rate. Now, they moved the walls back in Camden, so it has been harder to get bombs out, especially from these pull righties. But he is allowing decent contact. Where's that line drive rate to righties? 20%. That's still attackable, and he's not really missing these righties. Let me see. K percentage to righties. 13% K percentage to righties. So yeah, I want to pick on that. If you're not gonna strike out Buxton and Correa, yeah, we're stacking some twins. 4.2 implied run totals. I don't load the park adjustments in left field, but it's a small slate, so I'm very much so more inclined to stack these twins than pitch Tyler Wells here. So that's what I'm gonna do. And then when it comes to the Orioles, I can see both sides of this one. If we're gonna be scumdacker here, I could probably get to a little Chris Paddock in my pitching pool. So let's do that. Let's put Chris Paddock as a tier 3. The Orioles are top 2, I believe, in strikeout rate so far this season. And then looking at this projected lineup, Chris Owings, Robinson Chirinos, Ramon Urias, Rougned Odor, Ryan Mountcastle all have a 1 and 4 K rate. So makes some sense for Chris Paddock to accidentally get a strikeout per inning. We're just hoping that he survives, and I think he will. What's the pitch count looking like? 87. So we might be off the leash here. 95 pitches as a conservative estimate. So I'll take a shot on that. Do we want to stack Orioles? Maybe. I'm gonna put a hard maybe on that, depending on what this lineup comes out as. Because this Twins bullpen has been very, very susceptible, and it's a small slate. So if we do get like the regression monster taking a bite out of Chris Paddock here, and then we back it up with that bullpen, I certainly think there's some merit in this game, especially this game environment. It's gonna be over 70 degrees outside, and I think that might be the only game on the slate. Maybe Houston pops the lid on Minute Maid, and they can enjoy that 80-degree temps. But it's actually gonna be pretty fair weather for hitting, so it might be a positive here for the Orioles. If this lineup comes out as projected, I could get behind Mullen, Santander, Trey Mancini. He's actually probably going to be back today. Mountcastle. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So I'll wait on this Orioles lineup, but I do think they're going to be one of my low-owned stacks in my batch. So let me add them to the bottom here. So we'll take some Paddock. We'll take some of the Bull stacks, but we'll take more Twins than Orioles. And that's all I got to say about that. Cease got a stellar stash. Let's go. Let's see. Dylan. Oh, I forget his Dylon. Dylan Cease mustache. Let's Google this, boys. Let's grade it. I can't do mustaches, man. I mean, like, I can grow, but I hate them. Like, I hate them. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, I could see that. Like right where I get a little mustache going here, and like Danny gives me a kiss. I hate that feeling of like, it's never been my style. But some dudes could rock it. Apparently, Dylan Cease is one of them. What up, MV? Surprised they have the Mets no-run first inning up, fairly juiced on the books. Yeah, so that might not last much longer. There's a couple of stuff that I had last night that I didn't see this morning, but yes, I definitely think no-run first inning for Mets and Braves is in play. I really would like the Marlins game to be added up here, but it's not. So this is the only NRFI that I even like right now. Max Kepler or Jazz Chisholm start on Fanduel? Probably Jazz Chisholm. Probably. Nah, maybe Max Kepler. Kepler hit a couple bombs the other day. And we said Tyler Wells' strikeout rate to righties has plummeted, and it just fits the stack more. I guess to elaborate on your question what stack are you trying to accomplish? Because Kepler can touch some Polanco Correa. I do like the thought of Jazz Chisholm though, just because he's such an elite do-it-all guy. What up, Doug? 0 hits, 5 Ks, 33 pitches. Oh, wow, Cease might go the distance. That's pretty good. All right, we got the Yankees at the Blue Jays. So I got to adjust this projected lineup that I pulled last night because it did not include the GOAT. But I do need to at least stress that this isn't the confirmed lineup. But what did we see the last couple days? So yesterday, I believe, was... Judge started. Was it the Rizzo day off? I think, and Rizzo came in for Higashioka. So they like to rotate rest, and I'm trying to figure out who would be the rest candidate today. I think your outfield's pretty rested. I don't know. I would like to see him not rest this series because I think this is a very important series. But they got they got 9 starters and 8 spots, right? So we'll see. I guess in this projected lineup we are. I don't know who they're doing. Also know they sent down Andahar. Remember today the roster sizes dropped 2 spots, so a lot of teams have to DFA or option guys down, and I know Andahar was one of them. All right, so we got Ross Stripling taking on Jordan Montgomery. Early on, I probably have no interest in either pitcher. We got a 4.5 run total for the Yankees. They are slight favorites. 4.2 run total for the Blue Jays. Ross Stripling on the bump. Stripling coming off a really, really good game, is he not? I feel like he had like a massive strikeout. Yeah, 7 Ks in 5 innings against the Red Sox. 84 pitches in that one. That was the most pitches he's thrown in quite some time. So let's go look at the batted ball data. Let's look at what the numbers are telling us about Ross Stripling. Is the Gallon a decent road pitcher? So I don't get too caught up in home road splits. Like I don't overrate them. I think they matter, especially a hitter in his home park and the field dimension, stuff like that. But in this case, it's Marlins Park, and he used to pitch for the Marlins. He came out of their system, so I wouldn't really care about what the splits say, if that makes sense. But I don't think he's been that significantly better or worse from one place or the other. Last year on the road, 4.4 xFIP. So versus at home last year, he had a 3.52 xFIP. So the xFIP did rise. The strikeout rate was a little higher at home. But most of the metrics were pretty linear. His home run per 9 riz as well. But remember, Chase Field was kind of switched up and plays more pitcher friendly with the humidor. Let me skip this one. The song's called Superpower. All right, my superpower is to research pitchers. Now there are some pitchers that, for whatever reason, after years of looking at it, they just do way better at home or on the road. When Sonny Gray used to play for the Yankees, I don't know what it was about Yankee Stadium. He just could not have a good game. But on the road, he was pretty stellar. And then obviously there's Herman Marquez years back was like the best pitcher on the planet if you took him out of Coors. Stuff like that. 12.1% swing strike rate on the season for Mr. Stripling. 66% first pitch strike. That's good. Batted ball data says 325 xFIP, 349 Sierra. Cool. So this game against Texas, what happened there? Here, what up, Eric? Texas, he went 1 inning. So maybe that was a relief thing. I'm pretty sure it was because he had two appearances. Let's look at splits. I want to focus on his splits to righties, right? Last year against righties, in the last 2 years, really, a lot of power given up to righties and decent average low K numbers. So let's see if he's making improvements or if he's picking up where he left off on those. Against righties, 25% fly ball rate, 21% line drive rate. The ground ball rate's elevated. The hard contact rate's pristine, suspiciously pristine. And then what's the K percentage looking like against righties? Oh, 27% K rate to righty so far. 1.4 whip with a 375 BABIP. 3.24 walk per 9. So small sample's going to skew a lot of those numbers. But 10 strikeouts is good. I don't want to pitch him though. And then Jordan Montgomery, this projected Blue Jays lineup, it's not like a massive K spot anyway, and I don't really play Montgomery for a ton of strikeouts or a ton of length. And I think on this spot, I'll just be elsewhere on that. I don't think anyone's really gonna have interest in pitching against the Blue Jays or the Yankees here. So both teams, by default, are going to be stack worthy in the battle of the AL East. So we're going to add them to the stack list. Twins, Yankees, Blue Jays. We're going to keep either pitcher from being considered. And as far as pulling out one-offs, Bomb Detector likes Aaron Judge, no surprise. Also likes Josh Donaldson if he's in the mix. A little revenge. I wonder if he gets a good ovation out there in Toronto. That's a weird one, right? Yeah, you come back in a Twins jersey or a bright whatever, but you come back in a Yankees jersey. I wonder how they would react, man. He was their MVP, and then when it comes to picking out some of these Blue Jays here, yeah, we might be looking at George Springer, Springer Dinger, stuff like that. I think the Yankees bullpen has just been tops, lights out. And the Blue Jays bullpen has been fine too. I remember Adam Simber was giving them fits out of the bullpen in that series in New York. So this could be a much more average game. But there's obviously that spike potential with the power of these offenses. Both teams applied for less than 4.5 runs. So tapered expectations, but that is kind of the story of the slate here. No team is really implied to pop off. We don't even have one team on the slate with a 5 implied run total. So maybe it's one of the nights you think about not stacking or just grabbing a pair or a trio from a team, something like that could be viable. But very meaningful game here. Should be a lot of energy in that Rogers Center. We're stacking offenses. What up, OMG? Fake Yankee game for pitchers, yeah. And that's the thing. Like, I don't think Montgomery necessarily, like, he's not necessarily somebody I want to go pick on, right? But he's not somebody that ever really just straight up implodes. So if he can just eat 5 innings of a game and have a pretty solid outing, it just kind of takes the air out of the sails of a Blue Jays offense, right? Looking at the last couple games for Jordan Montgomery, 2 earnings, 1 earning, 3 earnings, but he's not giving you anything you got to have for fantasy, 13, 18s, because he'll get a strikeout here and there, a lot of ground balls, a lot of soft contact, a lot of cutters. He's like CC Sabathia in his final year or so, where he wasn't giving up a ton of runs, ton of hard contact, but he's not really somebody that you need to play. So generally, that's how I would approach that. Tonight, multi-man century. We just got a full send, a couple stacks here, and I think both these teams have as much viability as any. I haven't looked at like ownership projections yet. Maybe they are over-owned for the situation here. If that's the case, yeah, we draw back. But right now, I'm just kind of like processing the slate from a matchup and what's on the board standpoint. What up, K Johnson? Doing all right? All right, let's move on to the next game for a bit. We do have both lineups in this game confirmed. Ronald Acuna is leading off here for the Braves. Matt Olson, Austin Riley, Marcell Ozuna, Ozzie Albies batting 5th. Travis d'Arnaud, Adam Duvall, Travis Demerit. Hold me closer, trying to dance, baby. Braves lineup confirmed. Mets. Oh, I didn't look at weather. Chat, is there any weather today? Brandon Nimmo, Mark Canha is batting 2nd. No Marte in the lineup tonight. That's going to make me like that no-run first inning even more, I think. Pete Alonso. Hey, babe. Can you grab this take these brownies out of here?
Yeah.
Thank you. So no Marte. All right, cool. 3.4 run total for the Mets, 3.3 for the Braves. So, I think both pitchers are really good at run prevention and not anything I want to pick on. So I think what I'm going to do here is we're going to write down some prop action and stuff that we want to take some shots on. I think the no-run first inning for this game, as we said earlier, it's kind of surprising it's actually even offered right now. But let's make a PrizePicks prop list. We're going to go Braves, Mets, under 0.5 runs. So if you guys are looking for some stuff to add to your cards tonight, kind of like that. The reason we like that, like we said, Bassett, Max Fried, both really, really solid pitchers and really good at preventing runs. Chris Bassett, last year at 3.59 xFIP, ridiculously high ground ball rate versus low hard contact rate, and kind of the same for Max Fried. They have really identical numbers, and one's a lefty, one's a righty, but they have really identical numbers through and through. Both strike throwing guys that induce a high amount of ground balls, and hard to get into. So looking at Bassett so far this season, Cease Southway. Let's go Cease. I wish that was like on the main slate. He had his fantasy point projection on Price was like high 30s or something. 12% swing strike rate with 68% first pitch strike for Chris Bassett. Sierra xFIP just fine. Ground ball rate at 45.5%. Fly ball rate being almost 1-to-1 to the ground ball rate. It's not normal, right? It's not that. I mean, it's not that abnormal, but it's not. Hasn't been 1-to-1. But just fly ball doesn't necessarily mean a bad thing. And yeah, 17% of those are infield fly balls. All right, so the true fly ball rate. Okay, so yeah, really, really good. And then we flip that on the other side. Bassett's gonna get worked. He might. Braves are pretty good. I think this is one of those spots where I'm playing literally every side. I'll have both pitchers, both offenses. 11.3% swing and strike rate for Freed so far. 2.7 xFIP, 263 Sierra. That's good. The ground ball rate really, really high. 2.1 ground ball to fly ball ratio. So I'll add Braves and Mets under half a run first inning as something that I'm on. And then for DFS sake, we're going to have a little bit of everything in this one. Man. I don't know if I want to get to tier 2s on Freed and Bassett, but I might. The Braves are really good, but they will strike out. We just saw what Dane Dunning was able to do. I mean, he was striking these Braves down mercilessly. So it's not outside the realm of possibility for a big game out of Chris Bassett here. It's just you're living with that. Oh, man, these are some household names that I'm scared of. The Acuñas, Olsons, Riley, stuff like that. So I think we'll introduce both these pitchers into the player pool as tier 3s for now. And then we're also going to have Braves and Mets in the stack pool because we're scumming it up. Stadiums, yeah, they do, Doug. But also, like, a fly ball is, I'm going to say misleading, but a fly ball doesn't necessarily mean the warning track fly out, right? Just put it in the air, step 1, get past the infield, step 2. So shallow fly balls, stuff like that, that all counts. So it's not necessarily a bad thing. And then for Bassett's sake, he had like a 17% infield fly ball rate. Yeah, it's not true fly. So the launch angle is a little bit more straight than at an angle. Brave stack lineup. Yeah, they do have a stack lineup. They're stackable almost every day against anyone. But like I said, they could also bleed red and strike out. And you guys, I don't know if you guys saw the Dane Dunning game the other day for the Rangers, but I think he was possibly optimal on that slate. Game log on that one. Game log. Dane Dunning had 7 strikeouts, 7.2 innings. With a 150 PAVIP, so obviously, 1.7 xFIP. So he was having a really good game, and that's the same at the same Braves lineup. So it's you just got to get past the fact that hey, it's gonna be okay to pitch against dangerous offenses, and that's the risk reward that you live with for DFS. Dane Dunning obviously a lot cheaper than Chris Bassett, and Bassett profile is a lot better. But I just want to put it out there. The Braves can bleed red. The Yankees, the Blue Jays, the Dodgers. We saw Brisky, the kid the other day, have a solid game against the Dodgers. I mean, good baseball teams will get got sometimes, and they have strikeout rates in their lineup. So if you are running multiple lineups out there, like I think a lot of us do, this is the perfect play. A couple of ranges of outcomes here, and you could see the path for Bassett's success. And the Braves are just a good team, so it is what it is. Dunning throws. Yeah, Dunning's been kind of hit or miss for a couple years, right? But he's shown some glimmers of hope, and that was a game that you thought, okay, maybe he's got something. What's up, Justin Sports? Question: what else goes into the bond detector numbers versus certain pitch types? So the bond detector does not look at like pitch types. The bond detector is really an algorithm that considers batted ball data such as fly ball rates, line drive rates, hard contact rates, pull rates, barrel percentage, and it considers that for the hitter and for the pitcher, and then we isolate the splits, meaning how this pitcher does against righties and this hitter does against X. This year, when I recode the spreadsheet, I wrote down a content. I want to make what they call some more evergreen content, and also want to reward some of the members onlys or some of the channel members with some member only videos. So I was thinking about when I rewrite the spreadsheet this year, I always rewrite it usually about after the first month or so when you get 5 or 6 games of starts from pitchers, that I might actually record making the bomb detector and the algorithm for it. Because, I mean, it is proprietary, but it's not. It's like readily available information. So maybe some of you guys that are aspiring spreadsheet creators might find some value in that. But yeah, it's really just cross-referencing batted ball data. We need to get a Blue Jays lineup. We'll go back in a second to look at this Blue Jays lineup that's going to get worked. But first, we'll move forward. Also, I mentioned the no-run first inning bet. I like that. If you guys aren't on PrizePicks, you want to find a cool way to support the stream without opening up your wallets and grabbing a sub or anything like that, but you still want some action, you can go to PrizePicks.com. If you sign up using my code, I'll put a link into the chat. They will actually double your first deposit up to $100. And so if you say, all right, I'll put $20, play with a couple props, they'll turn it into $40 instant site credit. None of that slow drip, play through 8 times nonsense. You get it right away. Add it to the rotation. So go check that out over on PrizePicks. They got a couple fun ones. I typically like to go after the pitching outs, pitching strikeouts, the no-run first innings, and then I'll dabble with player hitter fantasy points, stuff like that. I don't like to take stabs at total bases and stuff like that, just because the roulette table has a really frustrating 0-0, meaning like base on balls doesn't count, stolen base doesn't, all that type of stuff doesn't count. You strictly need hits, and it is really, really frustrating when your hitter draws a walk, right, and then you just don't get anything to show for it. So I tend to stay away from that, but to each their own, right? Goal in the first 8 minutes happen often. Man, I saw that, Loyalty. I don't know. I don't want to pretend to know. The 2 hitters plus first inning score has been my best stack. Yeah, I like that too. I also like to correlate hitters. I appreciate that, KJ. That video on spreadsheet would be awesome. Yeah, okay. I figured there would be a little value in it. I just don't know how much, like how much interest, because I don't know that like a lot of people. Guys, can I be honest? You know me. I like to have no ego. I like to be humble, and I like to help people. And you've seen me collab with other I would say artists, creators, and stuff on this channel. I am dying. I'm literally dying to collab with MLB creators, whether it be sports betting or DFS. I promise you, I want to do this. And every night I am at this computer. Danny saw me yesterday. I am searching the dark web of YouTube, trying to find somebody who's putting out some content for baseball. And I'm not looking for polished content. I'm not looking for like great edits or nothing like that. I'm just looking for the right process. And I have not found one, not one, that isn't like referencing like ERA and BVP and nonsense. So if you know somebody out there that is, because obviously I'm not saying I've seen everything out there, but I can't find nothing, man. And I want to bring more people around. I want to help people build their channel, stuff like that. So when you're saying that using the right information and stuff, yes, I believe that wholeheartedly. And there's not many people doing the right information. I can't tell you how many times I'm looking at people are like recommending strikeout props for pitchers, and they don't mention anything about the pitchers' strikeout rate, swing and miss stuff. Nothing. They're looking at last 5 pitchers against this team have done this strikeout. Like, no, that's the process is so far off base. And on Twitter, we're seeing, people making these lists of teams, no run first inning, how often they hit, don't hit. That is the biggest waste of time. It is so irrelevant, where all results are not predictive. Does that make sense? So for somebody to spend the time to look at how often a team scores in the first inning to not, it has no predictive value, right? If I take a quarter and I flip it 10 times, and 8 of the 10 times I get heads, 2 times I get tails. When I flip that quarter again, what are the odds that I get heads? Is it 80%? No, it's 50%. And it's just like people are not understanding, and I don't know. It drives me nuts. I could start preaching. Long story short, if you know like a baseball creator that's actually using like a good process or is teachable, coachable, let me know, man, because I really want to build the DFS content community into something that is better than what's out there. Not just DFS, but for sports betting as well. It is it's in a bad state. It really is. Anyway, I'm sorry for that, but that's just been on my mind, dude. Hope Gallo plays tonight. Yeah, that would be good. Mariners against the Astros. Next game on the docket. Marco Gonzalez taking on Jake Odorizzi. Two very similar pitchers in terms of batted ball data. One is a lefty, one is a righty. Marco got injured in his last start, but I guess he's good to play today. He actually pitched against Houston a couple starts back. Had a solid outing, 7 innings, 6 strikeouts, 8 fly balls. Actually had some ground balls lately, 9-7 ground ball to fly ball ratio. Interesting, but we know with Marco Gonzalez, that's not necessarily going to be the case more often than not. So I do think both of these offenses are going to be two of my favorite offenses to target, right? Two hittable pitchers that dare you to hit the ball into the air. So the Mariners, I think, are a better team than maybe they get credit for, at least from the public perception. We go look at batting. Matter of fact, let me skip. Boom. That song was getting a little too epic. I'm him going, welcome me on board so I can turn my city up on DFS. Let's go. I mean, I don't want to just like grab people out of a chat room, but like I want people to have a passion for creating content. And like I said, I've even looked at a couple of these guys that seem like good kids and they seem like they have a passion for content. I was like, man, like, would it be offensive if I said, hey, I think you're doing good things, but I think you're maybe doing them a little wrong? Would you mind, would you want to link up and I'll show you maybe a process that I find better? You know what I mean? But it's just like, I don't want to offend people, but there's some rough stuff out there. No hate though, no hate. I'm sure somebody looks at my content and it's like, oh, this guy's an idiot. He doesn't believe in BVP. What? All right, let's isolate the league versus righties. What up, AJ? Mariners' favorite. Yeah, I'm with you, AJ. This one seems like two of the better offenses, two usable offenses versus two beatable pitchers combined. So I do want to look at the season so far. WRC plus. Cleveland leads the league in WRC plus against righties. That's incredible, actually. Is that real? Wow. I bet that's a lot of Jose Ramirez. All right, so Seattle's top 6 in WRC plus against righties. So you take that into account for Jake Odorizzi. And then if we flip that here for Houston against lefties. Now, I feel like against lefties, there's not enough sample size to truly believe what we're going to be seeing here. But Houston is less efficient, but they have been dealing with some injuries, and it's probably not on a ton of games anyway. But long story short, yeah, I don't have any interest in either pitcher, and I'm going to be playing both offenses pretty liberally. When the Mariners lineup does come out, it's not out yet. Ty France is looking like a huge play. Eugenio Suarez, I actually was picking up, I was doing some Baseball Savant research the other day just to try to find some steals in season long, and I started dropping guys that are like 90% owned. I dropped Trevor Story for Eugenio Suarez. I don't know if I'm digging this song. Rich People Mayhem. Trying to find some vibing. Alright. And let's go look at... Oh, we've got expected... Wait, we do have expected WOBA up here, right? Expected WOBA. So a couple guys in this game that are up here in the expected metrics, like expected WOBA, and looking at this lineup or looking at this list here, we also got some Mariners. Jesse Winker's up here, and then I think if we sort from expected ISO, we might see some Mariners before long. We got Yordan Alvarez, Kyle Tucker. Ironically, both those guys are lefties, but they can hit lefties, and Marco Gonzalez will allow just about anyone to get into him. Eugenio Suarez, check this out. A 279 expected ISO, a 349 expected WOBA, 504 expected slugging. That's all pretty solid numbers. I gotta get a sharpened list for this lo-fi stuff. Sean Murphy's up here, but I want to look at Ty France too. Okay, he's not on the front list. Lit. Anyway, Odorizzi last couple years, a little problem with home runs to righties. So that's going to look really good for guys like Ty France, guys like Eugenio Suarez. Jesse Winker against righties hits for a ton of power. So I like the thought of him. I know last year Odorizzi, the results weren't big home run numbers to lefties. However, it was just a hard contact rate that was low. Still elevated fly ball rate, a line drive rate that was high, 12%. What is this music, man? 12% walk rate. So there we go. I know this one. So I'm going to be stacking Seattle, and I'm going to be stacking the Astros. Alex Bregman against a left-handed pitcher will always have a 4+ rating in the bond detector. And here we are again, over 4.25 for him. Chaz McCormick has found himself in a leadoff spot a few times. How much longer is Altuve down for? Let's see. Altuve would like to be activated ahead of Monday's game. So he might be back tonight. Said all indications are that we should be good to go. So Altuve could be back tonight, and that just makes this lineup that much more lucrative to stack, right? Let's see. Altuve made what was likely his second and final rehab appearance at AAA Sugarland on Saturday, playing 8 innings at second base while going 1 for 3 with a double, a walk, and a run scored. Let's go, Altuve. You cheating bum. All right, so I would expect him to lead off here. So then you could have a lineup that you could touch Altuve, Bregman. Alvarez is, a guy that can hit lefties just fine at 918 OPS against lefties. And Kyle Tucker the same, 259 ISO against lefties. So yeah, we're going to be stacking both sides of this game. Let's add them to the mix. Let's start moving teams down. I actually think the Twins are still up there, right? But I would think this is my favorite game stack. So I might put them at the top here, and we'll go from there. I can't create the content, but I'm here to support it. I appreciate that, KJ. Mariners have heard of it. Gun, I've sent you stuff that proves I'm good. You make content, Bino? If you did, was that a different name? Like, you make content on YouTube? Can you please go through that team stack on FC again? Yeah, I got you. What up, Corey? What's stack like better, the Twins or the Mets? The Twins. I think both pitchers in the Citi Field game are good, whereas the Twins do get a beatable Tyler Wells, and the Twins have been really good. It's a happy household. She's a Twins fan. I'm a Yankees fan. We're both in first place. Yeah, Seattle just punished Odorizzi. Yeah, I'm with that. Toro solid. Abraham Toro, if he's in the lineup, it's a little revenge game too. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what these lineups come out to be. But I think that game could be a sneaky shootout. And I don't know that they will, but if they open the roof down there in Minute Maid, this would be the hottest game on the slate, over 80 degrees in Texas. So something to keep an eye on. All right, we got one game left. After this, we'll add some lineups in. In about 30 minutes, me and Josh can be on for the NBA show. But I do have 30 minutes to chill. So somebody asked about going through stacks on Cruncher and stuff like that. Yeah, I guess we can use today as an opportunity to do that. Also use this moment as an opportunity to let you guys know that, hey, it's not just prize picks where we can throw down and play some prop bets for MLB. They have them on Underdog as well. And if you're not familiar with Underdog, I know, like, I'm focused on the prop side of things, but they actually have a lot of cool stuff. They still, if you remember, like, drafting back in the day, the thrill of drafting, they still give you that. They're really famous for their best balls. And they have a Millie Maker best ball. So that series is launched, and you guys can get in on that. So it's not just baseball. If you play basketball, if you know football, stuff like that, you can get into some picks over there. But for baseball, if you use that link in chat, just like DK, they will double your first deposit up to $100, and you can start making some selections. The prop board's a little bit different than PrizePicks. You could also bet pitch counts for pitchers, and half a hit, stuff like that. And you can also do the rivals mode, which is good for any sport that they offer. Like tonight, James Harden versus Tyrese Maxey, 3-pointers made for NBA. I'm sure we're going to be talking about that on the show in an hour. The Embiid-less 76ers, that'll be fun. But they have a rivals mode that pits two players against each other in the same game, and you just kind of take a shot on who's going to have the better game. For instance, they have Lindor versus Ronald Acuna as one of the rivals options in total basis. So that's something I like a little bit more for NBA. What I like to stick to on MLB is the over-unders on some of these lines that they offer. And just like the other sports, you can line shop what they offer versus what PrizePicks offered. So looking through here, trying to see if anything screams at us. They don't have no-run first innings, which is a shame because I love that mode. But anything solid we can attack for pitchers. 3.5 Ks for Marco Gonzalez. Strike rate and first pitch strike, 14%. Jesus, 14.6% swing and strike rate, 63.5% first pitch strike. Both really respectable. Batted ball data saying 3.2 Sierra, 3.16 xFIP. I would say as long as we don't have concerns about his ability to continue to go deep, continue to be an 85 to 90 pitch pitcher, I think he's maybe not somebody we need a ton in DFS, but I do think maybe the prop market is a little light on him. So referencing back, and this is Rasmussen, referencing back, they have him at 4.5 Ks on PrizePicks, 27.5 fantasy score. They didn't give us an out prop. That's intriguing. And then on Underdog, they have him at 4.5 Ks and 79.5 pitches. So typically you see guys go deeper and deeper with their pitch counts, and until they get to like 90 to 100, that's when they just kind of chill out. But 84 pitches in that outing, and today he gets the Athletics, I'd be a little bit tempted in taking a shot at the over on 79.5 pitches. And now let's talk about the strikeouts, because the metrics are giving us encouraging numbers for him to be a strikeout guy, right? And if not necessarily, a Kershaw or a Scherzer, he could be above average strikeout guy against an extremely below average Athletics lineup. So before we focus on the Athletics lineup, let's look at the pitch types that he's been using this year and the whiff rates on the said pitch types. So this year he's got a 29% overall whiff rate on 295 pitches. And then looking at the velo chart, it's not like he's throwing mad gas. So I don't know if he's just getting decent moves. He's at 4.21 expected ERA. That's not what you want. But this team should be very, very beatable. And then the whiff rate, the highest whiff rate pitch that he has is his slider so far, with a 31% whiff rate on his cutter, 22% on the fastball. Hasn't missed a bat with a curveball, but that's not a bad thing. 27-23 is his RPMs on that curveball. And last year, I do see a curveball, 26. So it did pick up about 100 RPMs on that curveball. So here's why I think I'd buy into his strikeout props. Look at this freaking A's projected lineup. Let me zoom in as much as I can. Maybe you guys can truly appreciate how bad this Athletics lineup is. Look at this K percent. These are hitter K percentage against righties in the last 2 seasons. Sheldon Noose, 29%. Billy McKinney, 25%. Seth Brown, 28%. Kevin Smith, 30, almost 30.5%, 31%. Austin Allen, 35%. Christian Pache, 37%. I don't know who Nick Allen is. We can go find out. But that's a lot of strikeout potential. So if we can get this guy to go 5 or 6 innings, I think there's a good chance he's a strikeout per inning. And as we saw in that last outing, you know, he can get strikeouts. So what was I looking? I was gonna look up Nick Allen, right? I'm thinking I might take a stab at his over 4.5 Ks. Who wants to dive with me? I think this lineup is that bad. The only hesitancy or I don't know, pessimism I would have here is, do I believe in 80 to 90 pitches? Do I believe in 90 plus pitches? Like I don't like to bet on 80 pitches, but this is a super plus pitchers park. A lot of foul ground though. Could steal some strikeouts if guys pop out. Sometimes you could pop out and steal a strike, you know, get an 0-2 count. Here you pop one up and it might just get caught. And steal that strikeout. But let's look at this kid in the minors that's in this lineup that I don't have a K number on. His career, he has a 269 batting average. They didn't put strikeouts up here. Career. So far this year, we've got 7 strikeouts on 47 at-bats. Last year, 76 strikeouts on 340 at-bats. Okay, so I think I need to run from. I think I'm gonna take the Rasmussen strikeout. Do we like the strikeout prop or the pitch prop more? Pitch count prop. I'm thinking strikeouts, man. I'm thinking this team is dog water. Let's minimize it a little bit. So with that said, I think just straight up, hey, could this guy give me 20 fantasy points in DFS? Yes. But just from a prop betting standpoint, man, I think we're gonna do it. Drew Rasmussen, let's go over 4.5 Ks. Maybe we hold off on click and enter until the Athletics put out a confirmed lineup. But good God, that lineup is bad. So bad. Bobichette was at 6 fantasy points last night. Dang. Ran an O stack yesterday, won me $100. Let's go, Pressure. Cease has 10 Ks. Yeah, Cease is going nuts. I'm only playing a few MLB lineups tonight, mainly focused on the NBA, putting my money on the Suns 76ers to win this series. Let's go. You think the 76ers can pull that one off? I think it's tough, but I don't think it's impossible. But, yeah. What up, Paul? Going with you on this one. Yeah, Gentry, I'm going to add it to the big. Remember, hey, I'm a flex play only guy. So what I like to do for price picks is to find really 3 baseball picks I like. and then I'll flex to 3, and then maybe I'll rotate 2 pick powers with the combination of each 3. I didn't feel like the board was that stacked today, but maybe we can talk ourselves into like a hitter to sweat. What do you guys think? Is there any hitters we're digging? Maybe a cheap leadoff guy at a low fantasy score? Chisholm's interesting at 5, because 5 is a stolen base straight up, and a double, I think. His matchup isn't great. Yeah, doubles 5, a stolen base is 5, and obviously he's got power. He's got really good on base numbers, so interesting. Buxton at 7.5 as a leadoff guy in Camden, might get 4 or 5 at bats. That's intriguing. Judge's at 7.5. Is anybody in this Houston and Seattle game? Hey, Alex Bregman at 6.5. I'd probably get behind that. I haven't looked yet, but I'm guessing, this is just a guess, that Alex Bregman's going to be at the top of the bomb detector, at least with sample size. So we'll sort it. Maybe when we put Altuve, it'll change. Aaron Judge is. Bregman's up there too, though. Bregman is 3rd, and the pitcher sample size is a little bit higher. So Bregman might have a little too light of a fantasy score here. So I'm going to start jotting a couple names down. Maybe PrizePicks, fantasy score, Alex Bregman. And then we'll see if Altuve does play and leads off. That's another RBI potential for Bregman. So it might bail out a homer, you know. But that might be what I'm leaning. If I had to make a card right now and lock it, it would be Braves Mets under half a run, Rasmussen over 4.5 Ks, and Bregman over fantasy points. Send it. All right, we need to get the lineups that we didn't get updated. And then if you guys got questions, somebody was asking about Fantasy Cruncher. So what was it, Bino? Like, what was the question specifically? You mentioned stacks in Fantasy Cruncher. What did you want to see, or what was the question? Or if somebody else has a question around that, just ask, and we'll try and knock it out. Rasmussen at 5K. He's at 5Ks now. We're moving lines, boys. We're moving lines. Somebody's watching. I guess I didn't refresh, so maybe the movement or the action was coming in. I still have 4.5, but I'm sure if I refresh, went to 5. But that pitch count didn't be in Tampa Bay worries me. I mean, that's definitely fair. The pitch count is what worries me the most. Yeah, they moved. No, it's still at 4.5. Quinn. Rasmussen at 5Ks on PrizePicks. I just refreshed it. 4.5. and maybe this is worth a video in itself. Maybe I'll do it. But let's say I want to log in and I got like 15 minutes to make my lineups, right? The really quick, expeditiously way I would do it is I'd log in. I'll do a couple things before I start tweaking. So first of all, I probably don't ever want more than 40% of a player that's not a pitcher. So I'm going to change that immediately. And then for randomness, I'm going to do like 150% randomness. It's 125% randomness. It doesn't really matter. And then everything else is fine for now. Where do you get your music from? Blockus. That's what it is, Brandon. How do you know that? I had never heard that game before. Before they hit it. ACP, man, it's some royalty free track on our playlist on Spotify, but I will say 2 or 3 of my streams in the last 2 weeks have been hit with copyright, but it's like a soft hit to where I don't get actually struck. So I don't know. I just don't want to, like, I'm willing to not have these videos monetized if it means you guys don't just have to listen to me breathe and talk to myself about numbers. It's just something to break up the airwave a little bit, you know? But maybe I could find something a little bit better. So I've logged in and I've unchecked all the pitchers and I've capped everyone at 40%. I've added 125% randomness. Now I'm gonna, and this is just if I want to go quick and not really super dissect. I'm gonna add all the pitchers that I want. This is for Fanduel, so I'm gonna have a much tighter pitcher pool. We love Pablo Lopez. We kind of like Chris Bassett. And for Fanduel, remember, I'm looking for guys that I think can give me 6 innings, a quality start. So I add Fried to the mix, and Rasmussen's on the fence here, but a couple guys that are on the fence. So let's add them in here, and then we're going to drag our exposure column all the way over. I think Pablo Lopez is the guy I want the most of, so I'm probably going to put him at like 50%. Then I'm going to put Bassett at like 20%. I'm going to put Max Fried at like 10%, maybe 15%. And then I'll put these other 2 at 10. I probably don't expect to get too much of them, but I'll put them in there just in case. And then I'm going to go back to my advanced options. And for DraftKings versus Fanduel, on DraftKings, I like to do the 5-man stacks. On Fanduel, on a big slate, I'll usually do 4 threes. But on this slate, I'm okay with doing like either 4 fours or even 3 threes because it doesn't feel like a high octane night. So I hit add stacks. I'll remove all teams. And I'm going to go to the teams that I want to stack today. So we made this list so far, right? It is Astros, Mariners, Twins, Yankees, Blue Jays. So these are my main stacks that I like the most. So Astros, Mariners, Twins, Blue Jays. So Twins, Astros, Mariners, Blue Jays, Yankees too, right? Yeah, Yankees. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we got 5 teams there. So just quick math: 5 times what? 100% divided by what to get us 5? It's 20%, right? So we'll just put 20% on either team, on every team. And this is something we tweak as we look at ownerships later in the day, right? If you guys are watching Osmo Live Before Lock, they tell you a lot of the ownerships. Or if you have Osmo sub, something like that, they give you the ownership. So if a team is 20% owned or 30% owned versus a team that's like 2% owned, well, do you need 20% of that team stack to accomplish what you need to get to be competitive that night? Because you're just trying to take first place, right? But this is how I would do that. I would put 20% on all those teams. And if you're like me, you want a sub stack. So I add a second layer of stacks, and I want two player stacks from them. And I could kind of do the same teams here. Now I will be getting to like Baltimore, and this isn't like the true like full-on process here, but I'm going to do something similar with these guys. Now for these 2-player stacks, I guess it's the same thing. We can stick with 20%, and then you guys understand that you can move these numbers as you see fit. So I'll just do 20% through and through, the 4s and the 5s, or the 4s and the 2s. So we'll save that as is, and then we'll do 100 lineups and fire it out and see what it gives us. sometimes, yeah, we could find a constraint. So if you get an issue like that where it says we can only do X amount of lineups, blah blah blah, well, we probably need to lift some caps on something. So it might be as simple as lifting caps on like pitchers. If I put a low ceiling on like Bassett, Fried, Rasmussen, these guys, so maybe this means I need to lift those guys a little bit. So let's raise Gallen up to 20, and I'm even going to put Rasmussen up to 30 now, and then Fried up to 20, and then I'll even go 60 on Pablo. And the randomness will kind of get me there. So I may not get specifically 60% Pablo, but I think the projection will be high enough to get me the most of him. And it looks like we are going to be able to accomplish our 100 lineups. Going a little bit slower, but yeah. So do you play poker? Yeah, I play poker. I haven't played a lot in a while, though. 54 teams. All right. The 76ers can still game 1 in Miami tonight. It'll be good. I mean, yes, but that's whew. That's easier said than done, right? Austin Hayes or Max Kepler, Jesus Aguilar or Dalton Varsho. I'm probably on the Kepler side of that, but Austin Hayes is really, really good. Jesus Aguilar or Dalton Varsho. So Varsho's batting leadoff. Yeah, I tell you what, man. That Varsho versus Aguilar is rough. Probably Aguilar, but that's not a snap call. That one's tough. Hayes versus Kepler. I probably like Kepler a little bit more, but it comes down to what your lineup is doing, right? Do you have a twin stack going on in there? If so, then Kepler. No Seattle. Did I not add Seattle? Maybe that's why I'm getting an issue. But I do like Seattle. They're going to be one of my favorite stacks. No, I do have them. Okay. Anyway, so that's kind of what we do, Bino, is I go through that. And like I said, it's going to be a lot more, I don't want to say complicated, but a little bit more sophisticated. Not much. And it comes down to tweaking the numbers. Like, we know the teams that we want. And as you start to learn how these tools work, you can take everyone out to, like, I don't think it's crazy to completely take out everyone in your player pool and then go team by team and just add players that you wouldn't care to have a share of, and so on and so forth, and then just make sure your stacks are all activated, stuff like that. And then, I tend to leave my player cap for hitters at 40%. You can move that up on a smaller slate, 6-game slate. Maybe we need to get to a little bit higher ownership on some of these studs to get some leverage and stuff like that. So that's what I do. Cribbage. No, it was blocked as Dandy. I couldn't think of the game, but somebody in chat actually named it, which is incredible because I had never heard of that game before you guys. All right, cool. So no new lineups came out. Chat. We have an NBA prop show here in a couple minutes. Let me make sure that is Josh lurking. You good for a stream? Let me hit him up. So if you guys want to add some NBA stuff to your baseball cards, stuff like that, we'll be talking props. There goes Josh. He's there. All right, so we'll do that. We'll come back in a couple minutes with the NBA PrizePicks and Underdog show, prop show, whatever it is, and then we'll keep it going. Remember, there's an early lock tonight for baseball. It's at 6:40 Eastern, so it's about 25 minutes earlier than usual. So don't get caught with your pants down. I will be in the RunDFS.com VIP voice chat in the Discord after the NBA stream up until the baseball lock. If you guys want to jump in that, go to RunDFS.com. Get yourself a sub. It will come with access to the spreadsheet that I do, my player pool, all that cool stuff, the bomb detector, the K factory. So if you just want access to the spreadsheet to just do fast research, you can get it by getting a week pass at RunDFS.com. And then don't forget, we have a free Discord, completely 100% free. This song is lit. This is giving me Shinsuke Nakamura vibes, right? Little violin, little stank on it. Hey, there's a link in the description below for this free Discord. So shout out to all you guys that are in there. I mean, you guys are killing it. Screenshots have been lit. Over the weekend, Josh, I know we didn't put up like video content, but Josh was posting his picks in here. He crushed it over the weekend. You guys are sharing the fire. So as long as you bring the good vibes, you want to see everyone be great. Don't be smarter than the next guy. Root for success, man. You are welcome to come join this one. That's our gimmick here, right? The toxicity, the toxic masculinity, gambling stuff that you see everywhere else. We don't do that in our Discord, man. We are vibing out. So if you want to be part of it, it's free. Link to that's in the description below. And then, yeah, let's get out of here. What up, Limited? Running doubles, 2 Twins, 2 Mariners, 2 Blue Jays, 2 Astros. I think that's Limited. I think that's pretty smart today. It doesn't look, and we've seen this a couple of times to start the season. It doesn't look like there's a ton of offense pre-flop on this slate, so I don't think it's that crazy to maybe not full stacks. 2 2 2 and another one 2. Let's get it. Can you play my music? I'll never copyright you. If you send it to me, Bino. I like this one. We might just go out on this one. We don't need the regular. Chat, I'll be back in a minute. If you're out of here, I appreciate you. Hit that thumbs up, man. I love you guys. Good luck. God bless. Go win some money.